Hi guys. Wow, it's weird doing this all natural, but my hair is not cooperating today, but it's fine. It's totally fine. Look at all those. We're gonna call them growth, not breakages. But anyways, okay. So I was just gonna update everybody on like what's been going on up here at Charis and man, I don't even kind of know where to start because it's just kind of been absolutely like amazing. Every day it's just something new and it's been so awesome. But today, like I just got back from Pastor Dwayne Sheriff's Church, and it's his last week here for a little while. So I'm really gonna miss him. But they have been so great to me since I've been up here, Brother Dwayne and Sue, and oh man, they've just been incredible. And it's so awesome because they're very important people. You know what I mean? They're very important and amazing, and they're very highly sought people. So people are constantly coming up wanting to talk to them and hug them and get advice from them or prayer from them, and they always make it a point to come and find me and hug me. And man, I can't even explain how special that makes me feel. It's just been absolutely incredible. I was going to start off by telling y'all we had Global Ministers Conference last week, I believe it was. No, it was a week before last. And man, oh my gosh, it was incredible. So there were so many amazing ministers here, and it was awesome. And so I was serving, so I've been trying to volunteer as much as I can, and it's been great. I love volunteering. Like, it's so crazy because back home I used to struggle with it sometimes, especially at church. I think probably because I'm a preacher's daughter and I just kind of had to do everything. So like I started working in the nursery when I was like 12 years old, and running the Bible bookstore at about 14 years old. So it was kind of hard to serve because I guess, got burnt out on it. Plus, I was probably doing it for the wrong reasons because I felt like I had to. And now it's kind of like, I feel like I get to, like, I'm honored to get to serve here. And I'm going to take that attitude back home with me too when I come home. So anyways, I was serving, and I got to meet so many awesome people. And Dwayne and Sue were up front, and they saw me and they waved at me. And this was before service. So I ran over there, and he was talking to some ministers, and he said, "Hold on one second, sir." He's like, I need to give one of my favorites a hug. And he leaned over and hugged me, and he just loved on me. And he told this man, I can't remember which pastor it was, but he told this man, he said, her daddy was one of my heroes. And oh my gosh, that like immediately started crying. Like, I'm kind of fixing to start now, but I'm going to suck it up. And I just started crying because I was just like, that just was such an honor to hear Brother Dwayne Sheriff say that my dad, Pastor Les Scroggins of a small tiny church in Monroe, Oklahoma, was one of his heroes. And that just honored me so much. And so I, through the tears, was like, you were one of his heroes too, because he was. My dad just absolutely loved Brother Dwayne. And anyways, it just blessed me. And then Sue just hugged me and said I was just like one of her daughters, and they were just going to take me in. And he was like, I know we can't adopt you, but we're just going to take you in under our wing. And he was like, he was like, are you gonna start serving here at church so that we can work your way up in the ministry, And I was like, yes, actually, I just decided right now I'm gonna start serving on Sundays too. Because I had been praying about it, and I really wanted to get plugged into his church, and I really just feel like that's gonna be my home church while I'm here, is Victory Life. So I feel like that's just where I feel like at home. And there's amazing churches up here, like so many awesome churches. And that's been really hard for me, honestly, trying to find a home church, because it's like I've never had to do that. Like, Sugarloaf has always been my home church, so I've never had to find a church. But I have settled in with my decision, and Victory Life up here in Woodland Park is going to be my home church. So I feel really satisfied with that decision, and I know my dad would want me to sit under Brother Dwayne. So that's my choice and that's my decision. And I'm so happy with that. So today was my first day to serve at Brother Dwayne's church, and it was awesome. I served with a super sweet lady, and I got to give people coffee and tea and cookies and brownies and muffins, and yeah, it was awesome. So I loved it. And they came by and gave me a hug, and it was so cool. I love that they're so just personable. Like Brother Dwayne and Sue go around and hug everybody's neck, and I just absolutely love that. That's the Oklahoma in us. Or the Jesus, you know, but either one. And anyway, so there's just been so many awesome things happen. So let's see. Rich Van Winkle was, I don't know if you've heard of him, but if you haven't, you need to look him up because he's amazing. And he came and did one of our healing classes. And afterwards, this is when Angie and Alex were here. So Angie and Alex wanted to go up for prayer, and I was just standing there with them. And so when it got to our turn, Rich looked at me and was like, "Can I help you with, with anything?" And I was like, "Well, honestly, like I just need a hug." Like I just felt like I wanted to ask him for a hug because he gosh, he just had so much compassion in his eyes, and he just was just the sweetest man. So I was like, I just would like a hug, actually. So as soon as he hugged me, I started bawling. Like as soon as he hugged me, I just started bawling, and I could not quit crying. And man, I hate when I do that, but I was just bawling, and he just started like kind of praying in the spirit and hugging on me, and he goes, "I have the feeling that you were a daddy's girl." And I was like, yeah, like I just kept crying, and my sister was standing there and she started crying, and she was like, "Our dad just passed away a few years ago. And I think that God's really doing some I think she's still healing." And so he just was like, "Oh man." And he just started loving on me. And he was like, I have 3 daughters, so I'm really partial to, little girls. And he just started hugging on me, and he was like, "I feel like God is wanting to just take you up into his arms and just do some like deep inner healing with you right now." So anyways, they prayed over me, and it was awesome. Absolutely loved it. And I just thought it was super cool. And then after that, I walked off, and one of our other professors, he's one of the instructors of the healing discipleship class. He actually has worked with Todd White. And if you haven't looked up Todd White, you need to look up Todd White, especially if you need some healing, because he is incredible. So Todd White and him worked together for a long time. And anyways, so now he's here at Charis, and he is one of our instructors, and he pulled me to the side, and he was like, "Hey, I got a word for you." And he said, "I feel like God was revealing to me that you're going to be a revivalist." And he was like, "I know that sounds old school." And he was like, "But I really seen that like strongly." And he was like, "I even seen you under like white tents, and you were just preaching and prophesying to multitudes of people." And he said people were coming up to you, and you were reviving people from the dead, reviving their stories, reviving their hearts. Like you were literally raising people from the dead." And I was just like as soon as I'm hearing all this, like, yeah, I'm like soaking it all in. But then my very first thought after he told me that was, I couldn't even revive my own dad. Like, I prayed and believed, and I knew my dad was going to come back to life. And he didn't. And so I'm like, how is God calling me to revive people from the dead if I couldn't even do that for my own father? That was my first thought. And then I immediately was like, no, I rebuke that, Satan. I rebuke that, and you're not going to steal this word from me, because that's an amazing word, and you're not going to steal this from me. So I rebuked him, but it still kind of lingered a little bit, but I just kept rebuking it. And then our other instructor came up to me, and he said that he felt like God was saying that he is a master scrapbooker. And this really touched me, because during our activation time, when we had to like pray and write some stuff down that we thought that God was showing us, I really felt like I was struggling to believe that I could be anything great, because I have all of this past crap, like all this trauma, all these mistakes I've made, all like my hurt and my pain. And I'm like, there's no way that I can be something great, because of all this stuff. And he came up to me and he said, I feel like God's want me to tell you that he is a master scrapbooker, and that he takes everything that you've been through. Nothing that you have been through, no tear you have cried, nothing is wasted. And God has kept it all, and he is putting it all into this beautiful masterpiece, and he's making something great out of it. So everything you've been through, he is going to use. And I was just like bawling for that too, because I was like, wow, like God is literally just hearing all my thoughts, and then he's like giving me answers for like every little thing. And it's just been amazing. So it's been so awesome to just have all these words. And there have been so many more words. I'm just kind of scatterbrained right now because I just got home from church and I'm kind of hungry. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, just amazing words. And then, let's see, so they have us pray for people and give words to people, during our activation time of healing discipleship class. And I have yet to see anybody that I pray for be healed like immediately. You know, like there's those awesome times, and we have seen so many things, you guys, so much stuff. It's been incredible. So like I'm just gonna tell you a couple things. So when Rich Van Winkle was here, there was a man who came in a wheelchair. His wife brought him, and he'd been in a nursing home for a long time, and he has Parkinson's, and they told him that he would never walk again, and he'd been in a wheelchair for a long time and all this stuff, and he couldn't speak, and so it was just like a real sad deal. And Rich Van Winkle started praying for him, brought him up to the front, started praying for him, and told him to get up and walk. And you guys, he got up and he started walking. Like, he started walking right in front of all of us. And then he started trying to run. And he walked from one end of the auditorium to the other. And it was just like, I was just bawling. Because I'm just like, this is amazing. And like seeing it in person is just unreal. Like, it's just absolutely incredible. And so like he started running trying to run, but like walking, it was amazing. And then like when he got back down here to this end, his wife took the microphone and started kind of sharing a little bit more about his testimony and all this kind of stuff. And then Rich was like, I feel like he's wanting to speak. So he held the mic up to him, and we're all just like waiting to hear if he's going to talk, because he can't really talk. And so he said, sir, he said, what happened to you today? And he said, I got healed, like plain as day. We could hear him say, he said, I got healed. That's what he said. I got healed. And we were like all clapping, and I'm bawling, and it's just crazy. And then he says, who healed you, sir? And he put it up to his mouth again, the microphone, and he just yelled out, Jesus. And it was just plain as day, could hear what he was saying. And we were all just like bawling, like it was just incredible. I'm actually dripping snot right now, but it's fine. Anyways, so it was just like absolutely incredible. So that was just one thing. Then there's this lady that sits kind of beside me during healing class, and her eyes are like real puffy, and come to find out she's completely blind in one eye and she can barely see in another. So whenever we're in the big auditorium, she like has to use this little like binocular thing to see the professors. And I don't want to call them professors. I guess they are professors, but instructors I think is a better word. And anyways, so she starts like cheering, and like after she gets prayed for, she starts cheering and is like screaming and so happy. And then she runs over to the instructor, which was standing beside me, and she said, I can see. And she was like, and with this eye, I can see colors. I can see colors when I look out the window. And it was just incredible, because she was like, is that orange? Is that yellow? Like, it was so awesome. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like she's literally getting healed from being blind right in front of my eyes. Like, what? And then last week, I'll tell you this other short thing real fast. So then last week, we had another Healing Now service, and I was greeting people as they walked in. So I was at the door, and there's this man that walked in, and he was on crutches, and he didn't have a shoe on one of his feet. And so after service, I noticed that he went up and got prayed for, but then I didn't really pay attention. And then when he was leaving, he didn't have crutches. So I went up to him and I was like, sir, didn't you have crutches on? And he was like, he just started crying. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I have diabetes really bad. And I can't remember if they said that the doctor was wanting to amputate either his foot or his leg because it was just like no good. Like diabetes, it was just really bad. And he said he was in so much pain, but he said whenever the doctor told him that, he said, I just had this urge of faith rise up in me. And I told him, no, I'm not amputating it. But he was like, but I've been in so much pain ever since. So he came to Healing Now service, and he went up front, and he said that he went up front for prayer, and he said they started praying for me, and then I started speaking in tongues, and then he started like crying. So I was assuming that he had never spoken in tongues before, possibly, because of the way he was talking about it. And then he said, and then this lady asked me to go for a walk with her, and I just sat my crutches down and I started walking. And he's like, I am in no pain at all. My foot is completely healed. And I was just like crying with him because I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then the next day I seen him in class and he was walking still just completely fine. And I was like, oh my gosh, like God is still doing miracles today, like still doing miracles. Like Jesus was doing all these things in the Bible, and now people are getting to do it today with Jesus. Like Jesus is the same spirit that was in Jesus that was doing all those miracles. They live in me. So I'm like, it's just kind of like pumping me up to be like, I can do this. Like, because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about my past. It's not about my mistakes. It's not about what I've done. I can do it because of Jesus in me. So it has nothing to do with me. All I got to do is be willing. All Jesus needs is a willing and humble and obedient heart to do it. And he does all the work, not me. I just got to like lay my hands on it. Sometimes I don't even have to lay my hands on it to pray for something, you know? So I was just like, okay, God, please help me be more aware of people that need prayer so that I can start being used by you. So the very next day, we went to a hockey game, and it was so much fun. But one of the girls and I, we were freezing walking up to the stadium. So we started running, and she was like, oh gosh, I think I hurt my knee. But then we didn't really think anything more about it. And then the next day, that next morning in class, she came up to me at break and she was like, Ashley, I really hurt my knee yesterday. She was like, I think I pulled a muscle. She said, I can't hardly walk on it. Like I'm limping. It's just like so much pain. And I was like, well, why don't we just pray for it? So like I bent down and I just said something super simple. I was like, God, it's your will to heal. It is your will. It is written in your word that is your will to heal every time. So right now I just claim healing for Lauren because I know you want her healed. This is your baby girl and you want her healed. So I'm just claiming and thanking you for healing her knee. In Jesus' name, amen. And so she said, thank you. I said, you're welcome. And then we just kept chit-chatting. And then she was like, wait a minute. And then she gets up and she starts walking around and she starts jumping and she's like smiling. And then she starts being like, oh my gosh, Ashley. She was like, there's no pain. I have no pain. Like my knee is completely healed. I have no pain. And I was like, no freaking way. Like, what? Like, this is real. Like, now Jesus is like flowing through me. And I'm like, wow, like, it's just amazing. So that's just proof that you don't have to be anything special for God to use you to heal people. So it was just like, wow, like, it was just so awesome. So then, I kept getting nervous though. In the back of my mind, I was like, what if it comes back? What if the pain comes back? What if this doesn't actually work, you know? And then that night I seen her at the Enlarge praise and worship deal that I've been telling y'all about. That's amazing. And I seen her that night and she came up to me and I was like, so how are you? How's your knee? And she said, well, as soon as I got home from school, it started hurting again, but not in the place where you prayed for it earlier. It wasn't in that place. It was in another place. And I was like, and I was like, I was afraid that was going to happen. So I was so disappointed and I was kind of discouraged. And then she sat down and it all started. And then this guy gave a testimony about how he had prayed over his mom because his mom had some really bad pain in her left knee. And this was in Lauren's left knee. And so he was telling how he prayed for it and she was just completely healed. And it had been like a week and she had no pain. So I was thinking in my mind, like, that's weird that it was this lady's left knee, so maybe he needs to pray for Lauren because maybe the anointing's on him now, like how we have all those spiritual religious thoughts. And then during praise and worship, I was just like, no, I'm not going to go get him to pray for her because the same Jesus in him is the same Jesus in me. So I'm like, I can do this. Like, because it's not about me. It's not about me. And like, I just kept having to fight that off in my head. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. So I go over to her and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pray for your knee again. So she was like, okay. So I prayed for her knee and she was like, Ashley, it feels good. It feels fine. Like, I feel like it's healed. And I was like, thank God. Okay. Amen. So then the next day I seen on her Instagram story that she was going for a walk and I messaged her and I was like, hey, how's your knee today? And she was like, so good, in capital letters. And she was like, there's no pain. And I was like, praise Jesus. Like, it's just amazing seeing what like God is doing here through all of us youngins, and I'm not as young as some of the other ones, but I still feel young. And anyways, it's just been incredible and amazing, and I just wanted to share some of that with y'all. I know I've already been on here for 20 minutes, holy cow, so I'm gonna get off here and eat lunch, but I'll keep you guys updated because there is so much more that I want to tell y'all. So please stay tuned and keep looking out for my next video. I love you guys. Bye.